Gdansk.
Table of contents. Gdansk.
All about Gdansk, Poland. With visiting and touring information. Geography. History. Attractions. And other points of interest.
Dr. Sydney Soclof. Dr. Sydney 22@gmail.com. 2023. Narration by Dr. Sydney Soclof.
Zoe Phonemes.
And Nathan Koltov. For a complete discussion of YouTube navigation, please go to tiny.1/ytnavigator. Chapter 1. This is the flag of Poland. Poland is in Eastern Europe.
Poland is also considered to be a Baltic Sea country. Some of its Baltic neighbors are Finland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and Germany.
To the east of Poland along the Baltic Sea is the Russian enclave of Kaliningrad, and then the three small countries of Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia.
This is Poland in Eastern Europe. Poland is bordered by the Baltic Sea and the Russian enclave of Kaliningrad on the north.
Poland is bordered by Germany on the west, the Czech Republic and Slovakia on the south, and on the east by Ukraine, Belarus, and Lithuania.
The conventional long form is the Republic of Poland, and the short form is just Poland, or in the local language, Polska.
The capital of Poland is Warsaw on the Vistula River.
Poland has a population of 39 million, about the same as the U.S. state of California. Poland is slightly smaller in area than the U.S. state of New Mexico.
Gdansk, Poland. Chapter 2. Gdansk. Gdansk has been known by the German name of Danzig for much of its long history. The shipyards of Gdansk gained fame in the 1980s as the birthplace of Solidarity, the first independent labor union in a Soviet-controlled country. Gdansk is a major city in north-central Poland, on the Baltic Sea.
Gdansk is northern Poland's biggest city and the capital of Pomorski province. Nearby is the port city of Gdynia.
Gdansk is located on the Gulf of Gdansk, where the Vistula River meets the Baltic Sea.
Gdansk is Poland's principal seaport and the center of the country's fourth-largest metropolitan area, with a population of 470,000.
This is a view of the northern part of Poland, showing the Baltic coastal region.
This is the Gulf of Gdansk region, showing the three cities of Gdansk, Sopot, and Gdynia.
This is again the Gulf of Gdansk region, showing the Tri-City region of Gdansk, Sopot, and Gdynia. Here is Gdansk, located on the Gulf of Gdansk. This is the Gulf of Gdansk with the Baltic Sea in the distance. Gdansk is located on the Motlala River, once a branch of the Vistula River. Gdansk is part of the Trójmiasto or Tri-City metropolitan area including Gdynia and Sopot. The population of this metropolitan area is almost 1.4 million.
This is the region around Gdansk.
This is the region around Gdansk.
Chapter 3. The history of Gdansk.
Gdansk was first mentioned as a Polish city in 997 or 999. It was granted municipal autonomy in 1260 and developed as a trade center.
The Teutonic Knights seized the city in 1308.
Danzig, or Gdansk, was one of the richest members of the Hanseatic League.
In 1466, King Casimir IV of Poland regained Gdansk after a 13-year war.
The king granted Gdansk local autonomy in gratitude for its loyalty. It expanded greatly, reaching its peak during the Renaissance as the most prosperous port on the Baltic. Gdansk shipyards launched their first warship in 1572. Gdansk had 77,000 people by 1754, more than any other city in Eastern Europe.
Gdansk was seized by the German Kingdom of Prussia in 1772, resulting in a rapid decrease of its port trade in 1793. Gdansk was incorporated as part of Prussia under the German name of Danzig. Poland, which had been partitioned between Germany, Austria and Russia, was reconstituted after the conclusion of World War I and the Treaty of Versailles in 1919. Territories from defeated Germany were transferred to France and Poland. This included areas in West Prussia known as the Polish Corridor, or Danzig Corridor, which gave Poland access to the Baltic Sea.
To give Poland access to the Baltic Sea, this strip of land, 20 to 70 miles, 32 to 112 kilometers wide, called the Polish Corridor, was given to Poland.
The Polish corridor was along the lower course of the Vistula River and consisted of West Prussia and most of the province of Posen, or Poznan.
The territory of the Polish corridor was historically Polish, and before the partitions of Poland in the late 18th century was inhabited by a Polish majority. Between the Polish corridor and the German region of East Prussia was the free city of Danzig, or in Polish, Gdansk.
The city of Danzig, which had been a German city in East Prussia, became a free city administered by the League of Nations. The Free City of Danzig was a semi-autonomous city-state that existed between 1920 and 1939, consisting of the Baltic seaport of Danzig, now Gdansk, and nearly 200 towns and villages in the surrounding areas. It was created in 1920 by the Treaty of Versailles, after the end of World War I.
The Free City was created to give Poland access to a well-sized seaport. The Free City's population of 410,000 was 98% German, 1% Polish and 1% other.
Poland built the corridor port of Gdynia, just 10 miles to the north as an alternative to Danzig. The building of this new port started in 1921, and by 1933 the commerce passing through Gdynia exceeded that of Danzig.
The Polish, or Danzig corridor, was the issue, or at least the apparent pretext, over which World War II began.
In March 1939, the Nazi dictator of Germany, Adolf Hitler, demanded the cession of Danzig and the creation of extraterritorial German highways across the corridor connecting Germany to East Prussia.
Poland refused these demands and secured French and British guarantees against German aggression in September. Germany invaded Poland on September 1, 1939, thus beginning World War II.
Westerplatte is where World War II broke out on September 1, 1939. Westerplatte is at the entrance to the harbor and just a few miles from Gdansk. The Polish garrison held out against the attack for 7 days before surrendering to the Nazi German forces. The site is now a memorial to the defenders, including a small museum, some of the ruins left from the shelling, and a massive monument that towers above the area.
The German battleship Schleswig-Holstein fired at the Polish outpost Westerplatte in the Free City of Danzig on September 1, 1939. This attack became the initial episode of World War II.
Hitler annexed the Polish corridor, Danzig, Posen, and districts along the Silesian frontier, and placed the rest of the conquered Polish territory under a German governor. Gdansk was greatly damaged during World War II. Gdansk was returned to Poland in March 1945. Gdansk, along with other territories in the Polish corridor in East Prussia, became part of post-war Poland. Chapter 4 The Solidarity, or in Polish Solidarnosc, trade union was created in Gdansk in 1980. This soon led Poland in the direction of democracy.
This is the Solidarnosc Memorial at the Lenin Shipyard.
This is the monument to the shipyard workers at the Lenin Shipyard.
This is the Solidarnosc Memorial at the Lenin Shipyard. This is the Solidarnosc Memorial at the Lenin Shipyard.
This is the monument to the workers' takeover of the Lenin Shipyard in 1970.
This is the Solidarnosc Memorial at the Lenin Shipyard.
This is the Solidarnosc Memorial.
Chapter 5. Gdynia.
Gdynia began as a fishing settlement in 1253. After World War I, Gdynia was returned from Germany to Poland by the Treaty of Versailles in 1919. When the German-controlled Legislative Assembly in Gdansk barred Poland's use of that port's facilities, Poland chose Gdynia as the site for its new port. In the period 1924 to 1939, Gdynia became the major Baltic port, surpassing Gdansk, Danzig and Stettin, or Stettin. The Nazis destroyed Gdynia and its harbor during World War II, 1939 to 1945. Gdynia was quickly rebuilt after the war ended in 1945. It is now the site of the Paris Commune shipyard, one of the most modern in Europe.
Gdynia is part of the Troymi-Osto, three-city, urban area, along with Gdańsk and Sopot, and is the main passenger port for the three cities. It is a manufacturing center and the home port of the Polish Navy. The chief exports of Gdynia are lumber, coal, and sugar. Iron ore and food products are the main imports. Gdynia has a naval museum and several maritime schools. The population of Gdynia is 245,000.
Chapter 6. Gdansk has been fully reconstructed after the war.
Among the restored buildings are the medieval town hall and St. Catherine's Church, sections of which date from the 14th century.
The city center, known as Stare Miasto, Old Town, lies on the Motlawa River, a distributary of the Vistula, 2 miles, 3 kilometers, inland.
Gdansk has two main port areas. The older Nowe Port, New Port, is a major industrial center for shipyards, metallurgical and chemical plants, timber mills, and food processing facilities. Shipbuilding and shipping are among Gdansk's biggest industries.
The Gdansk shipyards launched their first warship in 1572 in modern times. Shipbuilding has been an important source of revenue. Labor unrest in the Gdansk shipyards in 1980 led to the creation of the Solidarity Union. The new airport Północny, Northport, is Poland's largest maritime development project, its first stage completed in 1975. It handles coal exports and petroleum imports, much of the latter being processed at a nearby refinery.
Both Gdansk and Gdynia are important Baltic Sea ports, with Gdansk being a major bulk cargo port.
Gdansk and Gdynia are also important container ports, with Gdynia being only second to St. Petersburg in container traffic.
Gdansk is an important cultural center containing schools of medicine, engineering, and fine arts. A maritime center, many fine churches, museums, theaters, and gardens, and a concert hall, and an opera house. The University of Gdansk was founded in 1970. Gdansk is part of the Troymi-Osto, three-city, urban area, comprising the towns of Gdansk population 580,000, Gdynia 245,000, and Sopot 40,000, with an area population of 750,000.
Chapter 7. Gdansk points of interest.
This map of Gdansk shows major points of interest in the main town and the Old Town. This is a view of Gdańsk.
This is a view of the Old Town and Gdansk.
This map of Gdansk shows major points of interest in Old Town. Many of these are along the Ulica and Długa, the Główne Miasto, or main town, was fortified in the Middle Ages, and still has many stout gates. Although greatly damaged during World War II, the city's historical monuments have since been restored. This is an aerial view of Gdansk. The city also houses the Polish Maritime Museum, a museum of city history, an archaeological museum and a branch of the Polish National Museum.
The University of Gdańsk was opened in 1970 and now has 27,000 students, making it the largest institution of higher learning in Poland's northern region of Pomerania.
This is the central area of Gdansk.
This is the central area of Gdansk.
The Ulica Długa leads from the Golden Gate, Złota Brama, to the Long Market, Długi Targ, and Green Gate, Brama's Halona.
The long lane or Ulica Długa extends from the old city wall at the Golden Gate, Złota Brama, to the Green Gate, Brama's Halona.
This is a view of the area around Ulica Długa. This is a view of the area around Ulica Długa.
This is a view of the area around Ulica Długa between the Fontana Neptuna and the Brama's Halona, to the Green Bridge over the Motla River. This is Ulica Długa, or Long Street, in Old Town Gdańsk. This is the Długi Targ, or Long Market. This is another view of Długi Targ, or Long Market.
The Golden Gate is one of the most notable tourist attractions of the city. Created from 1612 to 1614. It is located at one end of Ulica Długa, forming part of the old city fortifications.
This shows the location of the Golden Gate, or Złota Brama, at one end of the Ulica Długa. The Green Gate, or Brama's Halona, is one of the most notable tourist attractions in Gdańsk. It is situated between Long Market, Długi Targ, and the river Motla.
The Green Gate was inspired by the Antwerp City Hall, and built from 1568 to 1571 as the legal residence of Poland's monarchs. It reflects the Flemish architectural influence in Gdańsk. Today the Green Gate houses the National Museum in Gdańsk.
Neptune's Fountain, or Fontana Neptuna, is one of the most distinctive landmarks of Gdańsk.
Fontana Neptuna is an elaborately gilded 17th-century fountain at the western end of Długi Targ. As a symbol of Gdańsk, it emphasizes its bond with the sea.
The Fahrenheit monument on Ulica Długa is an antique thermometer that honors Daniel Gabriel Fahrenheit, the creator of the first universal temperature scale. Born in 1686 in Gdańsk.
Fahrenheit's thermometer and temperature scale we invented in 1714. And despite the rise of the Celsius scale, the Fahrenheit scale remains in use in several countries.
This is a view of the Old Town of Gdańsk. This is another view of the Old Town of Gdańsk.
The buildings of Old Town are highly decorated. These are building adornments in Gdańsk. 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 This is a mural in the Old Town of Gdańsk. This is the old town of Gdansk. These are the city walls that once encircled Gdansk.
This is the Golden Gate of the city walls of Gdansk.
This is a building built during the peak of the Hanseatic trade. The Gdansk Town Hall is a Gothic Renaissance building located at the corner of Ulica Długa and Długi Targ.
The town hall was built in the late 14th century as the seat of city authorities and hosted many Polish kings. The town hall spire has a golden replica of King Zygmunt August on its pinnacle.
This shows the location of the Gdansk Town Hall at the corner of Ulica Długa and Długi Targ.
This shows the location of the Gdansk Town Hall at the corner of Ulica Długa and Długi Targ.
Ulica Mariacka is one of the most attractive of all streets in Gdańsk. It was almost wholly recreated after being heavily damaged in World War II. This was done based on old documents, photographs and illustrations, with ornamental details rescued from the debris. This shows the location of Ulica Mariacka, just a short distance from and parallel to Ulica Długa. It goes from between St. Mary's Gate or Brama Mariacka at the waterfront to St. Mary's Church.
This is St. Mary's Gate, or Brama Mariacka on the Motla River. This Gothic structure was first mentioned in 1484. It was heavily damaged in World War II but rebuilt between 1958 and 1961, and now houses the Archaeological Museum. St. Mary's Church is a Roman Catholic church and formerly the Basilica of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary. This shows the location of St. Mary's Church, just 2 blocks north of Ulica Długa.
The construction of St. Mary's Church began around 1343. It is one of the 2 or 3 largest brick churches worldwide and can accommodate 25,000 people. The 256-foot or 78-meter tower of St. Mary's Church has a viewing platform, accessed by a climb of 405 steps.
This is a view of Gdansk from the tower of St. Mary's Church. The Gdansk astronomical clock in St. Mary's Church was constructed between 1464 and 1470. The complex dials show the time and date, phases of the moon, the position of the moon and sun in relation to the zodiac signs, and the calendar of saints.
Adam and Eve ring the bell on the hour, and at noon, a procession features Adam and Eve alongside the 3 kings, the apostles, and death.
The Gdansk astronomical clock is 14 meters, or 46 feet high. Upon completion, the clock was the largest in the world and may still be the largest wooden astronomical clock. Due to severe damage in World War II, it was reconstructed after 1945. The Royal Chapel is just to the north of St. Mary's Church. The Royal Chapel is the only Baroque church in Gdansk and was built between 1678 and 1681.
The crane, in Polish Zurowa, is one of the symbols of Gdansk and represents what little is left of the city's great trading age.
First mentioned in 1367. The original structure burnt down in 1442 before its current design was created in 1442 to 1444.
The crane was used to transfer cargo and to put up masts and ships. At one time, this was the biggest working crane in the world. But it also served as a defense function as one of the gates to the city.
This human-powered crane had a lifting capacity of 4 tons, or 2,000 kilograms, to a height of 36 feet, or 11 meters, making it the largest crane in medieval Europe. This was achieved by 2 huge wooden wheels with a diameter of 20 feet or 6 meters. The wheels were originally powered by men walking inside to turn the lifting mechanism. It remained a working crane until the middle of the 19th century and was 80% destroyed in 1945 in the Battle for Gdansk.
The Gdańsk Crane was destroyed by the Soviet troops during the fighting for the city in early 1945. The brick structure survived, and the wooden parts have been restored. After the war, the Gdańsk Crane was rebuilt and donated to the Polish Maritime Museum.
The exhibits include one on port life between the 16th and 18th centuries, models of lighthouses, the old port, life-size recreations of counting houses in old port life, plus access to the crane's two huge drive wheels.
The Gdańsk Crane is a treadwheel crane, a wooden, human-powered hoisting and lowering device. It was primarily used during the Roman period and the Middle Ages in building castles and cathedrals.
The often heavy charge is lifted as the individual inside the treadwheel crane walks. The rope attached to a pulley is turned onto a spindle by the wheel's rotation, thus allowing the device to hoist or lower the affixed pallet.
This is view of Gdansk from the canal. These are warehouses along the Canal Waterfront. Gdansk is still a busy port.
The European Solidarity Syntax Polish, Europejskie Centrum Solidarności, is a museum and library in Gdansk devoted to the history of solidarity, the Polish trade union and civil resistance movement, and the opposition movements of communist Eastern Europe.
This huge 5-story facility is just outside the entrance to the Gdansk shipyard, where the Solidarity movement started.
The Syntax permanent exhibition has around 2,000 exhibits, and the library contains around 100,000 books and documents. The European Solidarity Syntax opened in 2014.
The Museum of the Second World War was established in 2008 in Gdansk.
World War II officially began with the simultaneous German attacks on the Westerplatte Peninsula and the Polish post office in Gdansk. Thus, it is appropriate that this museum dedicated to World War II should be built just nearby the latter, and about a 10-minute walk north from the crane. The Church of St. Catherine is the oldest parish church in the Old Town of Gdansk. It was founded in the years 1227 to 1239 by the Princess of Gdansk and expanded after 1379.
The Church of St. Catherine was a Protestant church from 1545 until the end of World War II in 1945, after which it was returned to the Catholic Church.
This is the main train station, Główny, of the city of Gdansk.
The Gdańsk Główny train station opened in 1900.
The Battle of Westerplatte and the beginning of World War II.
The Battle of Westerplatte marked the start of World War II in Europe and was one of the first battles in Germany's invasion of Poland.
This shows the location of the Westerplatte Peninsula.
This is the Westerplatte Peninsula.
Beginning on September 1, 1939, the German Army, Naval and Air Forces, and Danzig police assaulted Poland's military transit depot on the Westerplatte Peninsula in the harbor of the Free City of Danzig.
The German battleship SMS Schleswig-Holstein fired at the Polish military transit depot during the siege of Westerplatte. The Poles held out for 7 days and repelled 13 assaults, including dive bomber attacks and naval shelling.
Westerplatte's defense inspired the Polish army and people in the face of German advances elsewhere and is still regarded as a symbol of resistance in modern Poland.
This is the Westerplatte monument. Sopot is a favorite health spot and tourist resort destination.
Chapter 8 Sopot has the longest promenade pier in the Baltic at 1,691 feet or 515 meters.
Sopot is a favorite summertime resort.
Chapter 9 The Castle of the Teutonic Order in Malbork. or in German, Ordensburg Marienburg, is a 13th-century Teutonic castle and fortress located near the town of Malbork near Gdansk. It is the largest castle in the world measured by land area and UNESCO World Heritage Site. Malbork Castle is 63 kilometers or a 53-minute drive from Gdansk. Malbork Castle was originally constructed by the Teutonic Knights, a German Catholic religious order of crusaders, who named it Marienburg in honor of Mary, Mother of Jesus. Since 1457, Malbork Castle has served as one of the several Polish royal residences until the first partition of Poland in 1772.
The castle came back to German rule for over 170 years. Following Germany's defeat in World War II in 1945, the land was assigned to Poland by the Allies. The castle was heavily damaged in World War II. It has since been renovated and now hosts exhibitions and serves as a museum.
Malbork Castle is a classic example of a medieval fortress and was the world's largest brick castle on its completion in 1406. UNESCO designated the castle of the Teutonic Order in Malbork and the Malbork Castle Museum a World Heritage Site in 1997.
Chapter 10. Baltic Amber. Amber is particularly associated with the Baltic region, as the deposits there are the most abundant. Gdansk has been an important center for amber polishing and distribution.
The famous amber route stretched from Gdansk to present-day Italy since the 5th century BC.
This shows the location of the Gdańsk Amber Museum. Just beyond the Svetobrama Gate at the end of Ulica Długa.
The Gdańsk Amber Museum has many displays on the history of Baltic amber.
This is a display of Baltic amber.
This is Baltic amber.
This is a display of Baltic Amber.
This is another display of Baltic amber.
This is another display of Baltic amber.
This is the polishing of Baltic Amber.
Chapter 11. Especially for a first-time visitor, a good way to see Gdansk is by a hop-on, hop-off sightseeing bus. One bus line is the Red Bus. The Red Bus route's duration is 1 hour. Attractions on the tour of Gdansk include the Golden Gate, Złota Brama, St. Mary's Church, Crane, Zoo Rava, and the Gdansk Colony railway station.
Another hop-on, hop-off bus is operated by City Sightseeing. Tickets for 24 and 48-hour unlimited bus tours of Gdansk are available on 2 bus routes with 12 stops.
City Sightseeing offers these 2 routes, the Blue Line and the Red Line. Each route is 90 minutes in duration.
The Blue route runs from 10:30 a.m. to 3:35 p.m. The NT loop takes 90 minutes.
The Red route runs from 11:45 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. The entire loop takes 90 minutes.
Recommended videos, Gdansk. Recommended video, Gdansk Travel Guide. Top 5 tourist attractions in Gdansk. Recommended video, Gdansk and Sopot, Poland. Quick Travel Guide. Recommended video, 10 Things to Do in Gdansk, Poland Travel Guide. Recommended video, Gdansk, Poland, Vacation Travel Video Guide. Recommended video, Welcome to Gdansk, the City of Freedom. Recommended video, How Free Was the Free City of Danzig? Short animated documentary. Table of contents. Gdansk.
Thanks for watching. Please watch some more of my great videos.